love that little tune. Okay. Hi, and welcome to the JIB. This podcast is about the many and varied schemes of the many and varied US law enforcement and intelligence agencies, organizations, and committees, and how they are both stupid and funny. Join us on our merry journey through space and time. Hi, my name is Barry. You might recognize me as one of the talking heads on the 30th anniversary Babylon 5 retrospective, All Alone in the Night.
Hi, I'm Seamus, and you may know me from Adventures in Composting. So, here we go, guys. The inaugural episode. And we already have a sponsor, Barry. Can you tell them about the sponsor?
Oh, yes, of course. Shouts out, big shouts out go to our sponsor this episode, Vladimir Putin.
Barry.
Yeah.
Barry, you're reading the wrong script, man. That's not what he extended on the Putin A. It's the.
That's what it says here. It says.
No.
Yeah. Sorry. Big shouts out to our sponsor, Hamish McSmirnoff.
That's it.
Yeah, sorry.
Always drink or eat or whatever McSmirnoff is. Yeah.
I'd say Hamish McSmirnoff has had many of his own adventures in composting.
Exactly. All right. So for the first episode, we're actually explaining what the JIB is.
Right? It's a curious name for a podcast.
Yeah. So this is how we came up with it. So here's the story, folks. It's the 1970s or the 1980s. Somewhere in there, the CIA were running various cat and mouse games with their counterparts, the Soviet Union, the KGB or Secret Committee, which is called the FSB today.
The FSB
KGB operatives were generally skilled at discovering CIA field agents. It would often conduct.
Well, in fairness, the CIA were not very good at concealing their identities, were they? The CIA were not very good at almost everything they did. They were just not very good.
Well, I mean, you're walking around dressed like that all the time. I think you're going to stick out, you know.
Yeah, CIA agents and Mormons.
And Mormons.
Yeah.
So they would.
That guy's holding a book that says CIA handbook. Now that, to me, would be the bad thing for a CIA agent to do. If you're an agent, you want to be invisible. Like, I suppose, what would you wear? You'd wear like telecom worker clothes or something, or a post office, a UPS guy, right?
Yeah,
you're just like a UPS guy, and you're carrying around a box full of explosives or something. But no one's going to stop a UPS guy.
It's definitely the opposite of cognito or incognito. Right?
Do you remember James Bond goes right up to the guy and says, "Hi, my name's James Bond." That's like the worst thing you can do as a secret agent, you know? It's like, "Oh, James Bond, the secret agent. Yeah, hey, how you doing, bud? Hey, James Bond's here," you know? Dressed in a tuxedo, yeah.
Did you ever watch the cartoon or show, whatever you want to call it, the Archer?
I've seen a few episodes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, literally, he embraces that, right? I'm the world's most famous secret agent.
It's just but James Bond is not for real in the movies.
Yeah. It's fucking. I mean, the very first episode, that's what he did, right? Dr. No.
Dressed up like going to the casino and making a big splash at the casino, winning all the games and stuff. Dude, if you're a secret agent, you make the opposite of a splash.
Yeah, but you know what? James Bond wasn't the CIA, so maybe that's
no, he was MI6.
Yeah.
Which have their own. That's a different podcast. That's not a
shit. Yeah, we're in the wrong show. We gotta start this.
We should be.
All right. So the KGB would tail vehicles driven by agents at close range without care for exposing themselves to their targets. This became an issue for agents who needed to communicate with assets.
Because they thought it was funny.
Right. So they needed the agents needed to meet with their assets during all these Cold War missions, but became an issue because they didn't want the KGB to find them.
He's in a guy in Moscow driving a Chrysler. I mean, I think that's a sign, right? Well, yes, obviously, CIA agent. We follow this one, yes.
We got to drive American cars. So they couldn't risk their assets getting scooped up, jailed, or tortured, murdered. All that fun stuff that they do over there, right?
That's just what they do to other people.
Yeah, of course, right. We never do that. So
please refer to episode 12. Go on,
Walter McIntosh, who was the head of the CIA's disguise unit in 77 to 79.
I love that the CIA had a disguise unit.
Right? I mean, what a gig. I mean, how do you apply for that? Yeah. He's down there at Langley, pounding this shit out. So he's trying to come up with a way to have a decoy, right? To give them a few minutes to get away from the KGB, give them a slip, right?
Well,
So
nowadays, it's just radio-controlled cars, I guess, you could work, wouldn't it?
that's true. Or tinted windows, man. I mean, wow.
So what was the actual issue that they were trying to solve then? They were being followed, but this guy was specifically trying to address like one aspect of that.
Yeah. They wanted to be able to get the passenger or somebody out of the vehicle without them knowing.
So the passenger has to get out, and as soon as the passenger gets out, the KGB guy who's following like less than 10 yards away will see this guy getting out of the car.
Right. So
the plan is to put like some kind of a decoy passenger in place.
Right.
So the guy jumps out, and in under 10 seconds, this decoy passenger has to appear.
Right. So you just can't have the three amigos in the car. You can't sneak a third person in.
Yeah, because the KGB are not idiots.
Right. So he Macintosh, he's brainstorming. He decides that, a mannequin would be way too bulky, and obviously, two guys carrying a mannequin into the car. Everybody's going to pick up on that, right?
So we're going to say Weekend at Bernie's. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, he claims that the breakthrough actually came through two Hollywood costume specialists, Lee Smith and John Chambers. The latter was actually played by John Goodman in the film Argo.
Okay.
So there you go.
IMDb still working at that point.
Yeah. This breakthrough was the use of an inflatable sex doll.
Sex-obsessed Westerners.
Yeah, you know it.
The decadent West.
The decadent West. Yep. So Macintosh wanted to get started right away to test the merits of this, but first he had to track down a few things. CIA has a lot of things, but they do not have sex dolls. Quotes, my secretary those days was a very nice, prim and proper lady of high religious upbringing. She was one of those people that was always volunteering to do the extra chore, but I could not see sending her out to buy sex dolls. So I strolled about until I saw a sign, adult bookstore, and sure enough,
like he didn't know where it was.
Exactly.
I strolled around until I happened upon an adult bookstore. You fucking lying bastard.
The shop was very close to George Washington University. Macintosh paid the clerk with cash and demanded a receipt, which I'm sure didn't send any flags.
For a sex doll.
Yeah. But what was a bit embarrassing was my several returns for additional dolls. We went through quite a few preparing the prototype as I was buying 4 or 5 at a time.
I broke
over a period of time. Yeah, right. So if you haven't, if you weren't around in the 1970s, this is come on. This would be the kind of ad that you would be seeing, right? So
I love me. I feel like that's definitely one of those bait and switch operations.
Yeah.
Like when you buy the doll, it does not look like that, and they're relying on the I guess, self-esteem problems of the people who buy them to not return them and complain.
All right, here's that's what they actually do look like.
He seems happy.
Yeah.
Man, David Cross has let himself go, hasn't he?
David Cross. Oh my! Yeah.
Look, he's got a very advanced model. His sex doll can read.
Is she ringing or is she singing? I don't know.
She
looks like a little bit of choir practice.
It does. She's got a choir head on her.
Okay. Here's another close up of similar models. So
you know what? That's the choir head joke is not going to work anymore.
No.
Why is there a noose around her neck?
I don't know.
Has she committed some crime? Some capital crime in the 1800s that can only be resolved. Did you rob a bank or something?
I don't know. It's just not a good look, is it?
No, but you
Even
know what?
for the CIA.
That does look like, I don't know. I had a dog, and that mouth looks just like the dog's arse that I had, and I think it's a little butty tail. It looks like a little butty tail above it and everything. Like it's fantastic.
Yeah. Definitely, the point was that the CIA definitely didn't want to make something, that looked like it was manufactured. I mean, like, certain things out there in the world.
That's from.
So,
that's not from a
Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan.
Amazon. Yeah.
Jack Ryan. I like John Krasinski.
Yeah, he's okay. Just this pro CIA stuff I could deal without. But
what CIA stuff?
Oh yeah, if you go down the Twitter universe, you could find some arguments of him defending the CIA.
Wait, the actor.
Yep.
I owe them everything. I really do. The CIA is something that we should all not only cherish, but be saying thank you every single day.
Did he go native when he got that part?
I guess.
Is he like method acting now? He's a CIA agent.
I don't know.
So man.
Yeah, or he's definitely swallowed the wrong pill or something.
If that's the case, then I wish his Twitter feed was a quiet place.
Oh, moving right along.
I can do better. I'm sorry.
Although in their raw state, these dolls.
No, you're not going to leave that image up, are you?
Why not? You want that? You don't want that image up?
I don't want to look at that the whole. Put up John Krasinski.
Okay.
There you go. Okay, go on.
All right. Although in their raw state, these dolls would no doubt appeal to whoever is still buying cryptocurrency. Macintosh needed them to look more like a well-dressed man, aka your average CIA agent. Getting back to these wonderful gents, right?
Yes, with the CIA handbook.
Yep.
Look, they can't even get out of the room. He's using that
coat hanger.
Coat hanger.
Why are you using a coat hanger on a door like that?
Why is he trying to put? That's not. Oh, never mind.
Just a lot of things going on in that.
A lot of things going on here.
Yeah. Macintosh needed to look more like a well-dressed, I already said that. There was no way that this could be confused for a real agent at close range, but reasonable distance while moving in a car at low lights, the ruse had potential. The next task was to figure out how to deploy the thing. Macintosh was able to find a company in St. Louis who was making airbags, believe it or not, back in the 70s. He said it was quite tricky in that it had to pop out of the briefcase, not too springy or a balloon, but not leaky or sag either. It took a while, but they did eventually were able to deploy a system. Okay. Here's some of the mock-up designs that they had, trying to figure out how it was going to work. But after altering the sex doll to a sort of look-alike,
where's the sex doll here? That looks like a whole rig.
Well, that's what it's going to be look like when it's actually deployed.
Oh, it's just a stretched kind of thing.
Yeah, he's just drawing it up. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So those well-dressed man equipped with the technology to launch it became fully inflated, known as a jack-in-a-box, a.k.a. the JIB, was born.
Someone should name a podcast after that.
Yeah, right? That's a kind of a...
The JIB, jack-in-the-box.
Yep.
And they were even able to move his head around. Look at that.
Right.
That's cool.
The JIB's first mission involved Adolf Tkovchev. Anyways, this guy's named Spear. I'm going with Spear. So Spear was an expert in the
CIA codename is Spear.
In electronics, who provided key documents to the CIA between 79 and 85. For instance, the U.S. Air Force shelved plans for the $70 million electronics package for the F-15 Eagle, based on intelligence from Spear. Of course, this was back in when $70 million was a lot of money. So we're talking probably about $700 billion, give or take.
Yeah.
A book written by David E. Hoffman called The $1 Billion Spy took its title from the massive amounts of cash canceled or redirected by Sphere's intelligence.
Okay.
Sphere was not like your traditional asset, though. He didn't like the methods that the CIA used to conduct business, including dead drops and radio communications. He preferred a more personal touch, more, one-on-one social meetings, right? He was also given medicine and health checkups during this visit. A KG leaked newspaper later wrote that the CIA showed a great touch of care for Spear and that the treatment of him was very touching.
Well, we liked it.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Yes, I don't. Maybe the KGB was throwing shade too, like, "Oh, you're so nice to your assets." I don't know. December '82, two CIA agents based in Moscow went out for a drive. Predictably, they were soon tailed by the KGB agents. The agents in the driver's seat turned a street corner rather quickly. In a short amount of time, when they were out of sight of the pursuing vehicle, the agent in the passenger seat quickly exited the vehicle. As his partner bailed from the car, the driver initiated the JIB.
It would have to be like super quick, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah,
like bang, bang, bang.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's out. I'm hitting the button, and here we go.
Yeah.
He deployed the JIB, and he was glorious. The JIB, which was concealed in a phony birthday cake, launched into action seamlessly.
Wow.
Yep. In The $1 Billion Spy, Hoffman writes that the Soviet spies were clueless to the sleight of hand sex doll wielding American adversaries just had pulled off on them. The JIB quickly became a common tool in the field. McIntosh claimed that the completion of the JIB was likely the high point of his 2-year stint as chief of the
That's the highlight of it.
Yeah, right?
I made a spring-loaded sex doll, and that was the highlight.
Unfortunately for the CIA, though, a double agent called Edward Lee Howard.
That could be too. That could be like the subtitle to the whole tagline of our podcast. Unfortunately for the CIA,
right? Howard used the JIB to trick the FBI, escaping their surveillance and take it off to Russia, where he would later defect. Sphere was compromised by perhaps the most famous double agent in CIA history, Aldrich Ames, and sadly he was executed in 1986. The public first learned of the JIB from the reading of the book the 2008 book called Spycraft by two ex-agents, employees, I should say, never agents, right? Robert Wallace and H. Keith Melton. The full story made his routines after a Newsweek interview with McIntosh published in 2015. And there is the JIB.
That is amazing. What's even better is that it worked.
Right?
Because a lot of the stuff we're going to be discussing on this podcast through the many years the podcast exists will be pretty much stuff that didn't work or that worked a little bit too well.
Yeah.
It looks like they kind of thought this one out well, and they did testing, and they had a system that worked, and when they deployed it in Moscow, it fooled the KGB, who were all over them.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing that how bad do you think they felt after they found out that they were tricked by a freaking sex doll? I mean, again, look at this thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I walked around New York City until I happened upon a sex store one time.
Right, yeah.
And I bought 5 sex dolls.
Yeah.
I'm glad he didn't send the secretary in, though.
Is this Barry's future right here?
What, like me in a bed with David Cross? I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. Oh my God. All right, so that's it. At least the story. We do have something else, right?
The first little story we have in our podcast.
Right.
And I bet you guys all thought it would be like 2 hours long.
No, not this version. Not this episode.
No, not this podcast. This podcast does not do 2-hour episodes.
Not yet.
Oh, stop. We had an agreement. I made you sign the agreement. No 2-hour episodes.
HR says otherwise, so.
HR. Okay, fair enough. I'll take my complaint up with HR. Staff by Seamus. Right. Okay, no problem.
All right. So we're ready for the next part of the episode.
I don't know. What's happening? What's going on? I had to remember one phrase. It was "What's new." Okay, that was my job with this whole podcast. Barry, when we go to the "What's new" bit, just say "What's new." Okay.
Welcome to the "What's new" bit.
Okay, in this section of the show, what we thought we might do is we would put the term CIA into Google, and then hit the news tab and see if anything interesting pops up. And then afterwards, we will put FBI into Google, hit the news tab, and see what pops up. Because I can guarantee you there will be something either stupid or funny. And in order to demonstrate this conviction that I have, Seamus will now do that. Live, by the way. We have not prepared this.
I thought you were doing this.
Oh, I can do it. Do you want me to do it?
I don't want to end up on a no-fly list. What are you talking about?
Oh, dude, I'm already on the files. I know there's a file. The FBI have a file on me.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'll tell you about it.
That's an episode, right?
I'll tell you about it afterwards.
It's not an episode? Come on. It's an episode.
Okay. No, it's not. Okay, I'll tell you about it afterwards. Okay, we're going to start with CIA, right?
Yep.
Now, this is not being prepared. We're doing it live in the sense of while we're recording this. So the idea is to be like a bit, what we call it, spontaneous, or have a little kind of a CIA. All right, hit the new Central Intelligence Agency. Yeah. Okay. Here's what I got in the headlines. CIA director briefed Zelensky on U.S. expectations for Russia's battlefield planning. Okay, nothing interesting there. Secret talks with Zelensky. These are all the same thing. Biden tanked Jimmy Carter's nominee for CIA over mishandled classified docs. That's Right?
Oopsie.
That's the headline there. It's on Fox News because, of course, it is.
Okay. Yeah.
Ex-CIA agent John Kiriakou. Oh, that sounds Greek. Kiriakou. Deep State's attack on. Sorry, I have to click on it to get to the headline. And now I'm definitely on the list, aren't I? Ex-CIA agent John Kiriakou says the Deep State's attack on dissent beginning with MLK. Well, I guess we're going to have an episode there on the... Well, that's more an FBI thing, isn't it? Oh, he calls it the Deep State. Okay, fair enough.
Of course, it's all the same. Come on.
John Kiriakou.
Come on.
Another headline said, this is just a short, brief tour of stuff that's on the CIA headlines right now. Jim Carrey confesses he needed CIA training to endure the film The Grinch.
What?
That's what it said. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, just a little bit, because that sounds insane.
It's insane. I can tell just by. Okay, accept the cookies. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, es in español. I just no. It's in español, and also I have to registrar par est. Oh no, here we go. No, it's in español. Sorry, but that's what it says. The headline: a CIA agent trained Jim Carrey, and the idea they came up with was the right one. They thought that if it was torture for the actor to put on, blah blah blah, and then it just. I'm not clicking on anymore because no hablo español and no quiero el registrar. Okay. Another headline says JFK records reveal intense level of secrecy by CIA during. Well, this should be good. Investigation of assassination. Well, I mean, you'd expect that, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
And the CIA, I'm not going to actually talk about that headline because I intend to write an episode about it. Okay. Another one is, another headline says, Chinese mole in FBI found after CIA spy network gutted.
Say that one more time.
James Banford, Chinese mole in FBI found after CIA spy ring network gutted. It looks like I'm using an ad blocker. You're goddamn right I'm using an ad blocker. The counterintelligence and economic espionage efforts emanating from the government of China, it says, are a grave threat to the economic well-being and democratic values of the United States. Confronting this threat is the FBI's top counterintelligence priority. That's what it says on the site. Perhaps far worse is the threat to the lives of scores of courageous Chinese agents who have volunteered to spy for the US within their own country. Well, where I come from, we call that treason. Okay. Over the past decade, more than a dozen agents recruited by the CIA have been killed or imprisoned. Well, that's how you handle traitors. It now turns out that it was a Chinese spying suspect within the FBI's counterintelligence division who may have been largely responsible. This person is said to have gone undetected and his activities for upward of 2 decades until his quiet arrest in 2020 in a Hawaiian jail. He has a little-known case wrapped in layers of secrecy as he awaits trial. So that's exactly the kind of bullshit we're going to be talking about in our podcast. Will I do the FBI one?
Wait a minute. So I did the same search.
Oh, what did you get? You got the same ones?
Emily Highcade?
I don't know.
Going from CIA officer to entrepreneur.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's what we do now, right? We prop up all these
You know what they call the CIA in Langley? Do you know what they call it?
Well,
CIA guys. They call it the company.
The company. Yep. And CIA spied on American citizens using pigeons.
No, that's the one I was going to write.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Doesn't matter. Preview of some upcoming episodes, folks. Yeah.
CIA buys Fort Seward's parade grounds.
I didn't see that one.
Okay, I'll do one more here. Okay, I see the Jim Carrey one. It is also the same link, I think, from...
Yeah. Do you habla español? Say habla español.
Not enough, no. Very, very little.
Uno poco solamente.
CIA staff had suicide pact to quit if Trump fired director.
I love that headline, and the article could not possibly be as entertaining as that headline is.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Try FBI and see what happens. Type in FBI and see what comes up.
All right. Time for the FBI. What's new?
Type in FBI and hit the news. By the way, this is a game you can play at home whenever this goes out, because all the headlines will be different by the time you see this. Just put CIA or FBI into Google, hit the thing, and hit the news tab, and then you'll see all the reputable news sites that have current stories about the CIA and the FBI, and it will be stupid and funny.
The enduring mystery of an aggressive FBI raid near Area 51.
Okay. That's interesting. That's neither funny nor stupid.
Yeah.
Interesting.
FBI investigation underway after Republican senators' campaign lost $90,000 to cyber criminals. Oopsie.
It's kind of funny.
Let's see.
How do you lose $700,000 to cyber criminals?
FBI's opposition. What's that?
I won't spend $10 on Bitcoin. This guy lost $700,000 on cyber criminals. Or maybe they kind of held his penis pictures hostage or something. Is it? I might get a bit.
Yeah, right. No.
We won't
FBI's
release your
opposition.
penis pictures, Barry, unless you give us $100,000. And I'd be like, how much would it cost to release it to everybody?
Sounds like blackmail.
Mm.
FBI's opposition to releasing Leonard Panay's Driven by Vendetta,
Leonard
says
who?
ex-agent.
Peltier.
Yeah, he's the indigenous activist.
Yeah, Peltier, isn't it?
Yeah, Peltier, that's right.
Mm.
Yeah, me pronouncing things is
Leonard
never
Peltier.
good. He should be free.
Oh, I don't know. Sorry, maybe he pronounces it Peltier or something. I don't know. That's my.
He's been in
French
prison
name.
for almost 50 goddamn years for a bunch of bullshit.
Leonard Peltier.
Yeah.
Too
MLK FBI considering how surveillance of King affected legacy. Well, yeah.
Hmm.
They did tell
Probably
him.
be doing something about that, won't we?
What's that?
We'll probably be doing something about that. If not directly, then it will definitely be somewhere. The MLK stuff. We might do a series just about celebrity FBI stalkings.
Yeah, the whole black activism movement in the 60s was definitely
you have something
hijacked.
about that, don't you? Planned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cool.
It was definitely hijacked by the FBI and
People
others.
like, Fired Rustin and all that good stuff.
Virginia man tried to flush hard drives containing child porn during FBI raid. I'm not making fun of the child porn, but trying to flush hard drives, that's kind of funny. I'm sorry.
It is. If you leave the crime of it out for a second, that is funny.
Yeah.
That was objectively amusing.
Yeah. Okay, I think it's enough on the FBI.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
Yeah, but you can try this at home. You will find something that you will laugh at. I will be doing it every episode, even if we get people in the comments specifically asking us not to. We're going to do it.
True. And start looking for us bi-weekly, folks. Be pretty much stuck to this time that you saw it now. If you saw it,
that is our podcast, isn't it?
I think that's it, guys.
All right.
So
thank you.
click and
We will see you
subscribe.
next time.
Start to follow us, and all that happy stuff. So, bye, guys.
See you next time, guys.
Bye.
I owe them everything. I really do. The CIA is something that we should all not only cherish, but be saying thank you every single day.